everyone. How's it going? Hi, all of you who are here already. Hi, Carol, Tabitha, Angela, Misty, Craftable Things on YouTube. I'm so excited. Hey, Jess, thanks for joining me. So we are going to be doing a lot of fun stuff today. Well, I don't know how fun it is. I have orders I need to fulfill, and I thought that I would have you guys join me. Hey, Eunice. So if you're watching and you're new here, I'd love to get to know you. Make sure you say hi. Let me know where you're watching from. If you happen to be watching this as a replay later, I'd love to see you again live. Those of you who have been with me know that I've been testing different live days. I work a full-time job outside of this, so I'm trying to manage when to do this. I'm thinking Wednesdays might be a good day. Let me know what you guys think. I'm thinking about rotating between production lives and Silhouette Studio software. So I've been having a lot of people ask me if I could do tutorials specifically on Silhouette Studio, if I could do, more specialized videos. So I'm thinking about rotating them. So let me know what you think. Hello to everyone else who has joined since then. Chandra, Lisa, and all of you guys. I've missed a couple of you and I'm so sorry. So if this is your first time watching me live, please let me know. I'd love to get to know you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Lisa. I have Lisa Potts Designs. So I've been doing Silhouette Studio and vinyl crafts for quite a few years. And then I added Glowforge almost 2 years ago now. So I love to teach you guys what I'm doing. I love to do my projects for you guys. And I love just hanging out and chatting and just doing a crafting night with my friends. So I have some orders going out. One of them is something that I did a video on a long time ago, and then one of them is a custom board that we're going to work on. So I have my slate board. This is from JDS. I have this ready to go, but we're going to set up our first engrave first. So I kind of rotate between different distributors for different things that I like. Now, I haven't found a good constant distributor of these wood slice coasters that I like besides At Home Store. So I think there are some comparable ones on Amazon, but I just love these ones from At Home. So we're going to do this. So we're going to jump on and let's go ahead and open this. So someone ordered a coaster that has a cute design on there. I've linked it in the description. It's by Craft Chameleon Cuttables. And so it's a cute sketch design. So let me show you in my software. Actually, let's put this in the Glowforge. So this one's going to be a little bit tricky. It looks like it's just under 1/2 inch. So for Glowforge, you can engrave something that is up to 2 inches from the bottom of your machine. So let me turn my camera and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So hold on. I'm going to get out of the screen for a second. Here I go. You guys, I work in a small space too. So I literally just put everything on wheels so I don't kill the bandwidth for my live stream. So, okay, here's my Glowforge. So whenever you're engraving, you can engrave up to 2 inches from the bottom of your machine. Let me move my microphone so you can hear me. You can engrave up to 2 inches from the bottom of your machine. So when you have your crumb tray, this props up something that may be a 1/2 inch or smaller. The way it is it can be up to 2 inches, but it has to be within a 1/2 inch of the lens. Okay, so if I were to take out this crumb tray and just put this flat up here, the top of this is not at least 1.5 inches from the very bottom of my machine. So since this looks like it could be less than a 1/2 inch, we're going to try it. So I'm going to pop this in here. I'm going to try to get it as close to the camera as I can, and we're going to let that process. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there. I'm not going to put the camera back on me because I'm going to share my screen. Hillary, I just sent you the best TikTok. Also, hello. That's my friend just coming on the live to tell me she sent me a TikTok. So thanks for that, Hillary. And Tabitha has a bunch of coasters like this of wanting to do something. So this one is specifically more geared towards people of faith. This is like a Christian one. However, there's still plenty of things that you can do for this. So I'm going to go ahead and open this. Now this is from Chameleon Cuttables. Now you can see right here, it looks really dark, but that is our coaster right there. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set my focus. So I'm going to grab this, set focus right there with my coaster. Now, it might look a little bit off because my lights are so bright in here that it's hard to see my coaster. You can kind of see it. It's also dark. Now, once we're doing that, let me go over and do kind of like full screen for you so you can see everything. Let me just pop this over. Here I am. Can you hear me now? I accidentally took away the camera, which has the sound. So let me know if you can hear me now. How did I set the focus? So now okay, you can hear me good. So let me jump back over here. So set focus, that's a good question. You hit these 3 dots up here, more, set focus, and then you click right in the middle of where you want it to set focus. Yeah, I thought I would make the screen bigger and I accidentally just took out all the sound, but can't win them all, I guess. All right, so now we're going to take this. I have it set to something I programmed a while ago, charcuterie coded, which is just a speed of 1,000 and precision power of 100. And the reason why I'm setting this up pretty quickly now is that this engrave is going to take a decent amount of time. So I want this to run while we set up our next design. So it is kind of hard to see the coaster. I don't know if it reflects on like the screen here, but I did turn my screen brightness way up so I could see this. One thing that would help you is not to have studio lights on when you close your Glowforge, because it does make it hard to see it. It throws off the light, but we're going to make it work. So we have this set in here. You can see this is the outline of our coaster. It's going to look a little bit off because the coasters are not perfectly circle. So do keep that in mind. If you get these coasters and you list them, they're not perfectly symmetrical. So make sure you have that somewhere in your product listing. So now we can go over and print. So this is going to prepare it, figure out how long it's going to take. I'm going to turn on my inline fan. The inline fan just pulls out everything a little bit faster, and it's also a lot quieter than the native fan for Glowforge. So that's one of the reasons why I do that. So you can see it's going to take about 15 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and hit start. Let's see if it clears it okay. Okay, we're good. So it went and it cleared that coaster, no problem. So let's pop back over here. I'm going to bring you back in front of me, and we're going to start setting up our design for our wedding charcuterie board, cutting board. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to go through and remove this. All right, so now I just need to share my other screen. We're going to share Silhouette Studio. So let's pop over here and let me grab this for you. Okay, can you see it okay? All right, so let me make sure I'm not missing any questions. And those of you who are new watching with me, I love answering questions, and I love answering them like as they're timely. So definitely make sure you ask as you see something. If you're curious why I did something, just let me know. I would love to answer for you. And then when you cut acrylic, does it smell bad with the inline fan? So yes and no. The acrylic is still going to smell no matter what. The inline fan does help. And then the other thing that I have is I keep an air purifier in my office and I run it. So as soon as I know I'm going to cut acrylic, I turn on my air purifier and then I run it for like a couple hours after I'm done. And then the coasters are from At Home Store. I do know there are some that look similar on Amazon. I haven't ordered them yet. When I looked them up, Amazon was having crazy delays in shipping. So I'll always find an excuse to go to At Home. So I went and just grabbed some from At Home. So let me go through. I see another question, so I'll answer that while I start designing. So let me put this up so you can see it. So Sir Smalls says, has Glowforge been a good investment in your opinion? So that can be a complicated answer. Yes is the end of the day. So whenever you're deciding if you want to use Glowforge, some of the things you have to consider is your current audience and what you're doing already. So for example, those of you who have been following me for a few years, I have been designing in Silhouette Studio for a long time. I have been working with vinyl for a very long time, and I had a lot of people who were already interested in things that I made. So I knew Glowforge was a newer thing. I watched it in Kickstarter, and I knew that I wanted to move to laser cutting. Now, there are larger lasers out there. Glowforge is definitely like not the top of the line and not the biggest cutting area. But for me, coming as a crafter, coming from someone who does things small scale, Glowforge has a small footprint. I can keep it in my studio, my guest room. And the software is very intuitive and doing your cuts, and it takes SVG files. So for someone who comes from a craft background, it was a very, very easy transition, and it's a great starter machine for you to figure out if laser cutting is actually for you, because it's not that big. If it doesn't work out for you, they're fairly easy to resell, and then you're not stuck with this giant laser in your home. So for me, yes. And as far as sales, Glowforge, things that are laser cut, has a way higher perceived value in it, so I can also charge a lot more than what I would have charged for vinyl. So hopefully that answered your question. If you guys have more questions as we go, I'm happy to answer them. We're going to set up a board. So this is going to be a wedding board. We're engraving on slate. So we're going to do the first names of the couple, their new last name, and then their wedding date. So this is a rush order, so that's why I'm doing it on the live. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to write Mitchell and Natasha. I'm super double checking because I don't want to mess it up. So this I'm actually going to do in a font called Barlow Condensed. And I actually am going to retype part of it. I want this in all caps. So caps lock. And we have that set there. I'm literally going to check my phone one more time because I really, really don't want it to be wrong. So just 1 second, I'm going to check it because I'm like so nervous because I'm doing this live too. So let's see, I'm just double checking. Yeah, we're good. We're good. So we have Mitchell and Natasha. And then the next line, we're going to do their last name. Okay, so we're going to do something that a lot of people have different opinions on. So their last name is going to be the Pennies. Oh, my caps lock is on. So this has an apostrophe S. So everyone, I'm not going to get into what's proper grammar. We don't need to have that conversation. This is something that I kind of go off of the customer is always right. So if you encounter something like this, like me personally, I would just do an S. I wouldn't do an apostrophe S. So what I do for the customer is I verify, I send them both options and I have them choose, okay? Because people have their own preference. I oftentimes choose not to have proper grammar. When someone asks me how I'm doing, I'm always going to say I'm good. I don't want to say I'm well. I think it sounds weird, So that's my little thing on there. So we're going to go ahead and change this font. I use a font called Girls. I don't make the names. I just use them. So now we're just kind of typing. We'll adjust and resize as we go. And then the bottom line is going to be their wedding date. And I'm using the same font as this top one. So I'm going to do my favorite shortcut to make a quick duplicate. So for those of you guys who watch me often, do you guys remember what it is? Like how you can make a really quick duplicate of an object in Silhouette Studio? Hi, Starla. So I'm just giving you a break to interact with me. But yes, I'm going to make a really quick duplicate. It's not copy and paste. I'm going to hover over it and press the Alt button. So when I press the Alt button, the mouse changes to look like a plus sign. You won't see it as much on my screen because of the way my resolution is. But I'm going to hold down Alt, click, drag. And look, I just made a copy. So let's double click in here. And so now their wedding date is October 15th, 2021. All caps. So in 2 days, they're getting married in 2 days. Okay, So let me fill these in so you guys can see it a little bit easier. And then we're going to work through how we adjust this to look a little bit better. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm happy with this script font. So I'm going to go right here and weld it. And the reason why we're welding is that script fonts are set up with your letters to overlap. They're made to look like they're one object, but until you weld them and get rid of those overlapping lines, if you were to engrave it, that space where it's overlapping would actually not engrave. So we're going to go right here, and then I'm going to really quickly right click and group. So now I want to adjust these to fit a little bit better. I am actually going to do something called increased character spacing. I want the names to be like a little bit more spaced apart. So I'm going to click my character spacing and just kind of open it up like that. And now I can take this and shrink it down. I want the pennies to be the focal point of this board, but I want their names to be there as well. So let's bring that right there. I'm still adjusting a little bit. I'm going to resize and align. So now we can see this one right here, the bottom right of our character panel, it has character spacing at 115. So I'm going to click right here, change this to character spacing of 115 as well. And now this is way too big for what we're doing. We want in this, so when we do design like this, we do custom cutting boards. We want to think in forms of hierarchy. What is the focal point of this board? What do you want the eye to be drawn to first? So this board is a wedding gift. So typically in couples and brides who take their husband's last name, the focal point is the fact that they are now a couple. They are one. For me and Nick, we're the Potts, the Pottses, the pot side, whatever. This is the pennies. So we're going to make the pennies the larger point. The next important point is their name. Their names are their names. And then the date is the third important point. Okay. So we're going to go through and take this. And so we've already increased our spacing. So I'm going to decrease this down here. We want it to be about like that. Okay. Give or take a little bit. So now I'm going to go over and we're going to start working on our alignment and our spacing. So I'm going to grab all three of these right here, just like this. Click and drag. And then up in the top of our Silhouette Studio, this is our quick access toolbar. What shows up in this bar changes based on what you have selected. So right now we have 3 objects selected. So one of our options right here is our Align panel. So I'm going to go right here, hit this button. So, you can't even see it on the screen. So I'm going to hit once you have, let me go and see if you can see it over here. Can you see it over here? Okay. So I'm not going to use the quick access toolbar because for some reason that window wasn't opening for you guys. So we're going to hit this right here to center align it. So you notice I wasn't that far off. And so now we can kind of look at it and see if we want to adjust it at all. I'm actually going to make the names a little bit smaller. I think that it looks kind of off in this area right here. So I'm going to I'm going to hover over, I'm going to hold down the Alt button, and I'm going to click this little square and drag in. And what this does is it resizes it centered off of where it is right now. So let's go ahead, grab all of these, make sure to align, and then let's bring this down. And I actually am backtracking a little bit. I want the names to be a little bit bigger. And so this is just a matter of trial and error. Every couple, every name that you do on here is going to be a little bit different because the first names, the last names, they all have different character counts. I don't know why my dog's barking. Just ignore it. And so we have it set right here. So let me go right here and kind of make a makeshift background for this. So let's go right here. I'm going to click the top right. I'm turning off my line color. And then I'm actually going to go through and change this to a light gray color so we can see what it would look like on the board. And now, super simple. This is a super quick and dirty mock-up. Quick and dirty, is that the phrase that we say? All right, so I changed this to black. Right click, send to back. So that's how it would look on the board, okay? So not too hard, super simple. I am actually going to bring up this date a little bit. I don't like that. I'm going to hit Control-Z. Actually, no, I'm just going to bring it back down. And so what do you guys think? Do you guys have any questions so far? Do you have anything you want me to clarify? What are we thinking right now? How do we feel? So pretty simple. So we have a combination of fonts. So with something like this, I like to combine a romantic script font with something that is like more timeless, but not a script. So these are two of my like go-to fonts. Barlow Condensed is one of my favorite like date font. Anything that has to pair with a script, I like to use that. So let's see. I have about 3 minutes left on the coaster. So I have 3 minutes to chat with you, answer questions. You guys have been like really quiet lately. So please give me some feedback. What kind? Oh my gosh. Amanda. Oh my gosh. Oh. I just. Oh my gosh. My friend Amanda's in my house. Oh, do you want to come say hi since they just saw me? My heart just like fell out of my chest, Amanda. You'll see her. This is our friend Amanda.
Hey.
She is typically at youth group at this time.
I am. I had a family dinner.
So I did not expect her to come to my house. And so oh my gosh, my heart is still racing. I just saw, I saw her in the hallway.
It's like crouched over too.
Oh
like...
my gosh. So anyway, do you want to talk about do you have any experience with the Glowforge? Have you done any crafting?
My gosh, so much experience.
You just lied.
So much. I have zero experience with the Glowforge. All right.
But she will soon.
Someday I will, and I'm gonna, Lisa's gonna show me some things.
I will. You can be on another live.
Can I be on your next live?
Well, probably yes. Okay. Well, thanks for joining.
Oh,
that's why Lacey was barking. Oh, guys. Okay. I've told you, like, I've said this before, like, if you want something more polished, watch one of my uploaded YouTube videos. Lives are full of mistakes, me dropping things, and apparently being scared out of my mind. So thanks for bearing with that. I didn't lose too many of you live, so thanks for that. And then someone asked, which Glowforge do I have? So I am using the Glowforge Pro. When you decide which model you want to get, there's a bunch of different factors that go into play. The factors that sold the Glowforge Pro for me is that selfishly, one, I want to have the best of all of them. But realistically, two, it has a pass-through feature. So the last live that I did a few weeks ago, we did a pass-through sign. I've done some really large signs with it. And then with the holiday season coming up, the Glowforge Pro has the most advanced cooling system. So that means it can run all day and not overheat. The basic will need to rest every now and then. Sometimes the plus does as well. So the Pro is really good for that. Another thing is if you are ready to get your machine, you don't have to wait for Black Friday. The discount code you get from my link is the best price that is available. And if you get a Pro, you will get it in a week. Right now, their shipping time is amazing, so you'll be able to get it pretty quickly. Okay, so you hear it got a little bit quieter. Our coaster is done. I'm just going to jump over and grab it. I think it looks pretty good. Hey, Cassandra! Okay. So here is our coaster. We have this right here. So I'm going to pop over and get, actually, no, I'm not going to do that. You'll notice that there's a little bit of like charring and it looks wet right here. You can very easily just take a little baby wipe and wipe this off. It's a tiny bit sticky. It's just a matter of the wood, but pretty cute, right? Now, I did not make this design, unfortunately. I wish I was that good of a designer. This is from Chameleon Cuttables. Go check out her store. I was just chatting with her earlier today. She put up a bunch of cool new designs, specifically Glowforge designs recently, and I cannot wait to make those. Okay, so let me let me save this. So we're gonna go right here. I'm gonna make sure all of this is set. I'm going to right click, weld, just to make sure I have no overlapping lines. Then one more right click, make compound path. Make compound path is essentially like a really big group. So I'm going to take that. and then go to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive, and then you'll choose your folder and just make sure you choose SVG right here, okay, in this drop down. So let me go and do that, and then we're gonna open this up. We're gonna put this in our Glowforge itself. So while I'm doing this and setting this up, do you guys have any questions on what I've done so far? Like, what are you thinking? Like, how do we feel? It's good. Oh yes, Cassandra, good to see you. Good to see you too. So yes, I have not uploaded in a couple weeks, but you'll be happy to know I did record a video right before this. I did hangers. They're not in here, but I did some hangers. I have an glitter acrylic cake topper I'm working on, and then a watch band video. So I did a watch band somewhere, but I don't think I did it in a video yet. Okay, so let's go back and share my Glowforge screen with you. Wow, my heart's still kind of racing. Amanda really scared me. Oh no, that's not right. Hold on. Share screen. Okay, so here we have, and here's my Glowforge. So I'm going to upload my file. So I think I just threw this in this main folder to start. Yeah. So we're going to let this process. What can you put in a Glowforge? So it has a pretty wide range. You can do wood, acrylic, slate, cardboard, silicone, leather, things that you can't put in. Metal can go in there, but it won't actually cut it. The CO2 laser won't cut metal, but you can mark it with the spray. The big thing to look out for are plastics. Silicone is fine. Plastics most of the time are not. If it has PVC in it, it is not laser safe. It will damage your laser and also put out toxic fumes that could kill you. So we don't want that. So we are opening our slate board. This is from JDS. I order these from JDS. You can see this beautiful slate board. And so let's move the camera and the microphone so we can talk about how we engrave this one, okay? So let me go over here and let me see if I can switch this. It's okay. So you can see here's actually I'll do this. So we have it right here. I'm moving my camera again for you guys. Here we go. Okay, so here we have our Glowforge. Now this board is probably at a ½ inch, probably a little bit more. So because of that, we need to take out our crumb tray. So we're just gonna lift this up. Here's my crumb tray. Gently lift like this, pull back, and now we have that out. And I'm literally just propping it up against the Husky card I have this on. Now, don't forget what I talked about. If I were to put this down right here, the top of this board is not at least 1.5 inches from the bottom of my machine. So we're going to take this out, and we need something to prop it up with. I use these 2 small boards that I got from the Target dollar spot a couple years ago. These equal out to like just at or just above 1 inch, so it's perfect. Some people use stacks of old wood they have. Some people use Legos. Whatever is easiest for you, do that. So I'm going to put this right here. Grab my slate. And I'm just going to carefully look down to make sure it's straight. And I close it and let this process. So let me add this back up here. All right, so we can see right here, our Glowforge is over there. Bye, Tabitha. And here's our design. So just like our last one, we are gonna go through and set our focus. So set focus, put it right in the middle here. And you'll notice when I made the design in Silhouette Studio, I did not size it at all. I am going to use this area here to size our board. So let's go through while this is going. I'll enter my settings. You guys already know I've already programmed one in from all my testing. So you can see for slate, I'm doing my speed at 900 and precision power at 80. This is going to give me a nice like frosty look. It has not steered me wrong, and I really like it. And honestly, this design's not that far off. I'm going to make it a tiny bit smaller to give myself a little bit more margin on the side. But let's see, I'm going to use my arrows. And the reason why I'm clicking off and clicking back on is sometimes this box throws me off. So I like to see just the words when I'm doing this to figure out how I should align it. So I'm looking at the space between here and here and here and here. I'm going to use my arrow to bump it up just a tiny bit. And one to go to the side. Now, one thing that's on my Glowforge wish list is that I would love for them to be able to add an option for me to designate the border of my object so I can do perfect center alignment. But, you know, one of these days, hopefully soon. So I'm happy with that. Let's go ahead and hit print. And this is going to calculate how long it will take. So what do you guys think so far? Do you have any questions? Do you need me to clarify anything? What kind of projects are you working on soon? Like, are you doing Christmas stuff now? I'm in the process of updating all my Christmas stuff. I'm tragically behind, but you know, that's what we're doing. Okay, I'm gonna press start on here. And let's pop this over right here. I'm going to move this so you can see the engrave a little bit more. So what do you think? Do you guys want to watch this for a minute before I do some? Well, I don't have any other projects. I didn't account for this engrave. So while we're watching this, actually, let me see if I can. Nope. Okay. While we're watching this, do you guys have any questions or anything you want to know in general about Glowforge? I also do silhouette. So if you have questions on Silhouette Studio, on designing, on HTV, on vinyl, I am all ears. I had a moment of panic just now that I put the date wrong, but it is correct. And then how many of you watching, this is your first live with me? Like, I recognize about half of your names, and then some names do look new. So I'm so happy you're here. So glad to see you. So glad my heart rate is coming back down from being scared. Kansas enjoys your videos. I would say I enjoy Kansas. I've never been there, but thank you so much. For those of you who haven't been watching, I've been uploading to my Glowforge YouTube channel about a year and a half. I'm very excited. If you're watching and you haven't subscribed, I would love if you did. I'm so close to hitting 7,000, so hopefully I'll continue to grow. I love to be able to do this. Does Glowforge have to be plugged into the computer? So let me move this over here. That's a good question. Stacy's new here. Thank you so much for joining, Stacy. Glowforge runs all the way through Wi-Fi. So no, it doesn't have to be plugged into the computer, which 9 times out of 10 is great. However, there are some individuals who live in a remote area or a rural area or have satellite internet, and that poses problems when sending your designs over. So I do love that I don't have to plug it in. It becomes problematic if my internet goes out because it's cloud-based. Every now and then Glowforge does have global outages. Thankfully, they've been pretty quick at resolving it, but I am, honestly, if I'm being totally transparent with you, I am a little bit nervous about Christmas time. I'm nervous about end of November into December because there are noticeably more people using Glowforge now, which I am so happy about because I love sharing my experiences with you. However, I wonder if the cloud-based software will be able to keep up. So that is one thing that I'm nervous about. But overall, I'm very happy with how it's wireless. Yes, glad to see that I'm okay. And then yes, Cassandra, thank you. Yeah, please hit the like, please subscribe. It really helps. What really helps as well is if you also ring the bell to be notified when I upload. Speaking of YouTube in particular, YouTube favors people who have a lot of views right away. So even if you aren't, aren't able to, it does help me out. It does tell YouTube that I'm a person that people want to get information from, and so they'll start prioritizing me. It's all like it's weird. It feels like a popularity game, and in a way it is, but I appreciate you guys helping me out. And then where did you get the slate board? I got it from JDS Industries. Now that's something that I wanted to bring up to you guys. So you guys have watched this engrave a while, so I'm going to kind of actually put the camera back on me. Okay, so let me go back over here. So that's something that I was like thinking about and wondering. So JDS is a business that you have to have your business license to order from. I have a lot of people who maybe want to make one or two of these. You guys aren't like doing a huge business yet. So I have debated offering some of these as blanks, almost doing buy-ins. If that's something that's interesting to you, go to my website and sign up for my email list. I'm going to start sending out emails of different things that I might order in bulk to offer as blanks for you guys. And then Wayne says, JDS, they've been one of my main companies for over 20 years. Always very good to work with. They're out of Sioux City. So yes, Wayne is totally right. I have had nothing but positive experience with JDS Industries. Even when what I needed was out of stock and like tragically back ordered, like I would not get it in time. They've always been really helpful. Their customer service is top notch. And I order from the Jacksonville one because I am in Florida. And they like, I don't know what kind of magic they have in their warehouse or what, but I can order at like 2 p.m. and maybe not now because of the state of things, but typically I can order at like 2 p.m. and it like someone like a courier service or someone is like knocking on my door the next day at 8:30 dropping off a package. So it's awesome. Let me know if that's something you want to kind of look into. I just did like a wrench multi-tool on my Instagram stories and someone was messaging me about that. So if that's something that you want to kind of look into, I do have a handful on my website now, not a whole lot, but we'll see. And I know like, when you're starting off, you want to be able to use these blanks, but like, I understand starting a business does take time and money, and you kind of need to start making some money to get the money to start the business that you're kind of already doing, So I would love to help you out, especially with Christmas coming out. Just let me know. But again, Cassandra also says really like JDS, quick shipping and reliable. They're always reliable. Another distributor you can look into in the interim, if you cannot get a JDS account, is Johnson Plastics Plus, jpplus.com. They do not require you to have a business license, which allows you to kind of get started and order things. The other cool thing is that all of their products are made in the United States. So sometimes you kind of have a little disconnect. I do the bulk of my ordering from JDS because one, it's closer, faster shipping, and it is a little bit of a better price for me because I have a business license. But Johnson Plastics Plus is nice because you can get it right away. You don't have to worry about your business license, and they are American made. At what point did you decide to get a business license? Not sure about that. So my case is a little bit different. You may also want to consult an accountant or an attorney because there is taxes are going to change next year from what I hear. So like $600, I don't know. So for me, I got my business license right away because I knew that I wanted to do a training side and a finished goods side. And so I wanted to be able to get set up with the distributors right away and keep everything, for me, everything above board. It made it easier for me to calculate all the costs of starting my business with my business partner. And it made it easy for us to do our P&L and all of that stuff. So I knew that I wanted to stick it out in the long term. I wanted to be able to right away have my resale license. So that way I could buy things wholesale and not get charged tax. And in the long run, it also helps me save money. So I did it right away. That's also a good question with like, when did you decide? If any of you are watching and you've had to make that decision, I'd love to see in the comments like what made you decide. I know typically the threshold is if you make like, what is it, like 10,000 a year or 20,000 a year, you should get taxed, and it's better to have a registered business. But it's really kind of up to you and what your market is. Do I use an inline fan? Yes. That is why you can hear me talking right now. It's because I have an inline fan. One thing also to keep in mind is that depending on what state you're in and you want to sell for like craft fairs or something like that, some states or craft fairs or Sioux Falls, I'm not from that area at all, so I would have never known, Wayne. If you sell at like a farmer's market or something like that, some states require you to pay taxes on those sales right away. So those farmers markets or craft fairs or whatever will take your business information and register it with the state for that event so they know to collect tax from you. So that's another thing you need to check with. I'm not an expert. Don't take anything I say as final, okay? But like, that's another thing. If you want to sell in markets or craft fairs, sometimes you have to be a registered business even to start. So look that up, see what you're doing, and kind of go from there. So these are good things. I'm glad you're saying this because I want to see other people's feedback with this as well. So Music Chick Art says, when I bought my Glowforge, I registered my business to get a tax break. Very important. That also helps me a lot, especially if you're using Glowforge and you have a dedicated area in your home. You know, you can get different write-offs for it as well. For example, this room that I'm working in is like literally just for my business, so I can write it off on my taxes. And then Sandra did it for wholesale accounts, among other things. And so that's kind of like the biggest reason I did it right away as well. And that's what I tell a lot of people, is that being able to get a wholesale account with companies and being able to get things tax-free has been big for me. Now, it comes with its own set of challenges. Like when you register a business, you have to pay your state taxes. You have to pay, like, there's more paperwork involved. So that's one thing to keep in mind. But maybe if you're just starting off, you haven't done a whole lot. See how the next couple months go for you. And if you're trending up, that might be a good time to register your business. Again, consult experts. I'm not an expert on the business side. I hire all of that out. I just do the creative side. So check it out. And then also, if you are on Facebook, a good colleague of mine, Todd Downing, he has a group. I think it's called like Fat Dad Wholesale Basics, something like that. They put a lot of good advice in there. They focus a lot on apparel industry, but it's like hand in hand with what we do with Laser and Glowforge. So you can also ask in there. I have a Facebook group as well that you can check out. But everyone's journey is different. My biggest thing for me, and what I suggest, is try to stay above board. Do not, I'm not even going to like tiptoe around it. Do not get started and sell copywritten or trademarked items. If you like start off and you get a lot of sales because you're doing Disney stuff or NFL stuff or whatever pro sports teams, just know that that's like, they're watching and they will come and eventually they'll take your stuff. They'll probably fine you, and like, let alone like, that's stealing. If you're making money off of someone else's protected work, that's stealing. Like, I can guarantee if you took the time to design something and someone else made something that looked just like it, you probably wouldn't be happy about it. So my biggest thing is stay above board. Do not make money off of copywritten or trademark designs. And then I don't like doing stuff under the table if I don't have to. So if I think I'm going to make like an okay amount, I would register. That's my personal opinion. Agree, it helps with end of year stuff on phone utilities, square foot usage, equipment. Yes, because you can write off your area. So there are 7 minutes left in this engrave. So you guys can ask questions, or I might pop off and put a picture of the final product. Put in the comments, do you want to wait for the end of this engrave, or are you done with me? I guess if you're watching, you're not really done with me, but let me know in the comments like what you want to do. If you want me to discuss these coasters again. Chef Beat says, let's wait. So let's see if there's more stuff to talk about while we're waiting. I just revamped. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I just revamped on my website. My website needs a whole bunch of revamping, but I just revamped on my website the training product for it. So if you didn't know, I offer one-on-one virtual training. It can be on Silhouette Studio. It can be on Silhouette vinyl cutting. It can also be on Glowforge. They are recorded. You get a copy of it, and I revamped it to the fact that like when you purchase, you can purchase it. You get an automated email that has a link to my Calendly already, so you can book your session right away. It does an intake form, and then you book it. You go through Calendly, and you're put on my calendar. There's no back and forth with us, no disconnect. You can literally just get access to it and go. So if you're thinking about it, definitely check it out. I'm really excited about it. I am in the process of setting up some classes. I'm doing the Applique Getaway virtual conference again. That is in November. That's next month. I gotta finish that. So I'll link that. Join my email list. I'll send an email out about it. I also did some hangers earlier today. I filmed a YouTube video on that, but I did some hangers. And I'm excited about that. Do you have some kind of material for the coaster to absorb the liquid, or the wood do that alone? So yeah, this one, the wood would do that alone. This is something that I would suggest wiping off. Even if you just did it without the engraving, the coaster's just like a finished wood. So it's not going to be super absorbent. So you might need to wipe it down, but at least it would keep you from getting rings on your table. So this is a good question. Do you foresee yourself needing a second Glowforge? Maybe. So for my tutorial side, I have my Glowforge here. I actually have a sister store that I run with a business partner. So, and she has a Glowforge. So I kind of already have a second Glowforge. And then she had a refurbed Plus and literally just got a new Pro. So we do have an extra Glowforge that I will be using for travel. So if I go to shows or if I have to go anywhere, that will be my demo unit because, a lot of people want to see it. And at that point in time, I didn't have a spare that I could risk traveling with. So if I get if I get a huge influx of orders that my Glowforge can't keep up with, that would be the point in time where I would start considering a larger laser. So Glowforge is amazing. At this point in time, I can't imagine having any grievances with them. But so I would stay with them, and the only reason I would change is if I needed something with a bigger area that can engrave faster. This is a great introductory laser. I love it. But if I were to do huge bulk wholesale orders, if my business just picked up exponentially, it would only be because this machine itself can't keep up with that. Now, if you're doing Christmas presents, you're a small scale business owner, you just want to build up and build a clientele and a set of products, Glowforge is more than enough, and do your research, find the one that works best for you. I know that there are competing companies that make machines that are similar. I will say, at least from my end, I have had very good experiences with anyone I've encountered with Glowforge, with whether it's issues or questions that I've had. And the thing that I really appreciate about them is that I'm constantly seeing them update the software. I'm seeing them add new features. I've been able to be a little bit more in communication with them because I do have my YouTube channel. And so they have been very receptive when I have said hey, I don't like that the software can't do this or blah, blah, blah. And they're cool, awesome. We love to hear it, And so I want to say that Glowforge, in my opinion, is what I did go with it. So yeah, I would go with it. But they're always making improvements. And I think that says a lot about a company, and it says a lot about where they're going. If you have a company that they're not really improving much. Seems like they're not really listening to their customers. They're really just trying to get sale. That's one thing to consider. I've talked enough. There's a minute and 30 seconds left, so we're almost there, guys. What else do you want to know or talk about? We can just stand here awkwardly for another minute while we wait on this. And then Carol says, I wish the software was offline more like Silhouette. Yeah, I agree. If I'm being honest, I have Glowforge Premium because I wanted to get it at the cheaper price because I knew they were adding more to it. But I literally do everything in Silhouette and just bring it in there and maybe resize it. So maybe at some point the features in Glowforge will be super awesome and I'll do more designing natively. But right now I've designed in Silhouette for so long that why would I do anything else? How many of you in here have a Glowforge? So let's do like one question. How many have a Glowforge? And then in a second, we can do another question with how many are looking into the Glowforge. Let me see. I know a couple of you have them because I've spoken to about them. So Angela has a Glowforge Pro. I remember, yeah, Chef Beats, I have one actually working on it now. Me too. Anne's got a Pro. Carol's got a newborn Glowforge, a week old. So definitely, Carol, keep using it a lot in this first week because I actually had issues with my first Glowforge. Not like a problem, but typically if you follow the timeline of materials, like when they break, they typically break right at the beginning because they could be defective, and then they break after a lot of use. So make sure you're using it a lot now to make sure you have a good unit because this is the time that you can kind of switch it out if you don't. So lots of pros. Anne has a Pro. Lisa has a Pro. Craftable Things on YouTube has a Pro. Music Chick Art has a Pro. Eunice has a Pro. And then Anne, yeah, she had issues too and had it replaced after 5 months. So mine was the camera was always off. It was never right, and they couldn't replicate it. So I had my machine for 2 weeks, and then they sent me a new one. Okay. So you're going to see my fingerprints on it. That's the thing about Slate. Before I give this to the customer, I'm going to finish this with cutting board oil. So cutting board oil, it's like mineral oil. I'm going to finish it. So that's going to kind of make it look a little bit deeper in color. And you won't see my nasty fingerprints on it. Okay. So again, this is not how I'm going to give it to the customer. It does not look good this way. So as soon as I'm done this, I'm going to put finishing oil on it so it has time to set before I give it to the customer. But this has been one of my top performing products, especially at Christmas time. And you can see you guys were here. It didn't take long start to finish. And this slate is it's a gem for me. It works really well for me. I also love to do my recipe boards on here. A lot of people love that. So what do you guys think? Do you guys have any questions on this before I let you go? Any thoughts or opinions? Wow, there's a lot of my greasy fingerprints on that. The board looks awesome. Thank you. Anne's looking to upgrade to an Aeon laser because of the bed space issues and speed. Yeah. If you're doing great and you're busting out all these products, you should move to a larger machine because a larger machine is going to be a better use of your time. You got to factor in your labor. You turn more projects around faster, and it overall is good if you're doing more. Okay. So with that being said, I think we're good for tonight. So let me know if you want to continue doing these lives. I think Wednesday is a good night because typically no one is at my house. But I think I'm going to rotate. So I want to try to rotate between a finished product and a strictly software one because I work a full-time job. I think having a project every week was too much for me. And so that's why I just didn't do them for a few weeks because I overwhelmed myself. So let me know. I'll probably just start doing software next week unless you guys hate it. I hope to see you then. I'm planning to be here next Wednesday at 8 Eastern as well. Please join me. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you know someone who would benefit from my channel, it would be great if you passed me on as well. All right, you guys have a good night. I have a new video being uploaded in the next couple of days, and I will talk to you later.